Have you ever felt like you're being pushed into doing something you don't want to do? Or maybe you've agreed to a request only to later wonder, why did I say yes to that? It might not just be your imagination. It could be on the receiving end of dark psychology tricks. Subtle manipulation tactics used to control you without you even realizing it. These aren't just things you see in movies. They happen in everyday life, from the workplace to our personal relationships. But here's the good news. Once you know what they are, you can spot them, and more importantly, you can protect yourself. So let us pull back the curtain and expose 7 of the most common dark psychology tricks used to control you. First up is gaslighting. This one is incredibly sneaky. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you by making you question your own sanity, memory, or perception of reality. They might say things like, "That never happened," "You're just being too sensitive," or "You're imagining things." Over time, this constant questioning of your reality can erode your self-confidence, making you more dependent on the manipulator for your sense of what's real. It's a powerful tool for control because it makes you doubt your own mind, making it easier for them to impose their version of events on you. If you consistently feel confused or like you're going crazy in a relationship, it's time to take a step back and evaluate. Next, we have the foot in the door technique. Start small. Someone asks you for a tiny, easy-to-grant favor, something you'd feel silly saying no to. "Can you just watch my bag for a second? Or can you just look over this one sentence for me?" Once you've agreed to the small request, you're psychologically more likely to agree to a larger, related request later on. Why? Because we like to be consistent. Having already said yes once, saying no the second time feels inconsistent with our previous actions. Salespeople use this all the time, but it also appears in personal relationships, slowly escalating requests until you're doing much more than you ever intended. Trick number 3 is love bombing. This feels amazing at first, which is what makes it so dangerous. A person will shower you with excessive affection, attention, and gifts right at the beginning of a relationship. It feels like a fairy tale, and you feel like the most special person in the world. But this overwhelming display of affection isn't genuine. It's a tactic to make you feel indebted and dependent. Once they have you hooked, the affection can be withdrawn just as quickly, used as a tool to control your behavior. You find yourself constantly trying to get back to that initial perfect phase, doing whatever they want to regain their approval. The 4th trick is using guilt trips. This is a classic manipulation tactic. Someone makes you feel responsible for their unhappiness or problems. They might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you would do this," or they'll sigh dramatically and tell you not to worry about them, even though it's clear they want you to. This plays on our natural empathy and desire to not hurt others. By making you feel guilty, they can pressure you into complying with their wishes, not because you want to, but because you want to alleviate that awful feeling of guilt. It's emotional blackmail, plain and simple. Number 5 is social proof as a weapon. We are social creatures, and we often look to others to determine how we should act, especially in uncertain situations. Manipulators exploit this. They might say, "Everyone else is doing it," or "So-and-so thinks it's a great idea." This creates pressure to conform. You start to think, well, if everyone else agrees, maybe I'm the one who's wrong. They create the illusion of a consensus to make their own opinion or request seem more valid and harder to refuse. It's a way of isolating you and making you feel like the odd one out if you do and go along with the group. Coming in at number 6 is the scarcity principle. This tactic preys on our fear of missing out, or FOMO. Manipulators will create a false sense of urgency or rarity. "This is a limited time offer. I'm only telling you this, or if you don't decide now, the opportunity will be gone forever." This pressure makes you act impulsively without thinking things through. You're so focused on the fear of losing out that you do, and stop to consider if you actually want or need what is being offered. It's a powerful way to bypass your rational thought process and push you into a quick decision that benefits them. Finally, number 7, playing the victim. This is when someone consistently acts as if the world is against them and they are perpetually wronged. They avoid taking any responsibility for their actions and instead blame others for all their problems. This can be a powerful control tactic because it makes you feel sorry for them. You might feel compelled to help them, to fix their problems, or to let their bad behavior slide because, in their narrative, they're just a poor victim of circumstance. It disarms your criticisms and can trap you in a cycle of caretaking, where you're constantly putting their needs before your own. Recognizing these tricks is the first and most powerful step toward reclaiming your control. When you can name the tactic being used against you, it loses its power. It's not about being paranoid. It's about being aware and protecting your own mental and emotional well-being. Trust your gut. If a situation feels off, it probably is. Setting boundaries and being confident in saying no are your best defenses. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful in understanding the world around you a little better, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more insights into psychology and self-improvement. Stay aware and stay empowered. See you in the next one.